Developing news in Riverside County, where Sheriff Chad Bianco claims that his deputies may have prevented a third assassination attempt on former President Trump. Authorities arrested a man making his way to the Trump rally in Coachella on Saturday. Allegedly, he was armed with multiple loaded guns. Now, the Riverside County Sheriff says that the man was also carrying several passports with different names and had a homemade license plate on his vehicle.
KTLA's Omar Lewis joins us from Riverside with more on that suspect and what the Department of Justice is saying.
Rick and Kareen, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department says that 49-year-old suspect was armed with multiple loaded weapons, including a shotgun, and he also allegedly had fake credentials. The sheriff here says he believes his deputies stopped a potential third assassination attempt against former President Trump. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco confirmed to KTLA 5 News that this is the suspect, Vim Miller, arrested while trying to enter Saturday's Trump campaign rally in the Coachella Valley.
I truly do believe that we prevented another assassination attempt.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says Miller was stopped at a checkpoint near Saturday's Trump rally when deputies discovered he was carrying a shotgun, a loaded handgun, and a high-capacity magazine, along with fake passports and a fake license. He also allegedly attempted to use fake VIP passes to gain access to the event.
What we do know is he showed up with multiple passports with different names, an unregistered vehicle with fake license plate, and loaded firearms. If you're asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the third assassination attempt.
Tens of thousands of Trump supporters showed up to the rally held Saturday in the blistering heat at the Calhoun Ranch just outside Coachella. While residents and permitted attendees were allowed through the security checkpoints, they were closely monitored. It was at one of those checkpoints where Miller's alleged plot was foiled before the former president arrived. He was booked into a detention center for possessing a loaded firearm and high-capacity magazine.
I need to thank that deputy for doing his job. That was the first thing that went through my mind.
The U.S. Attorney's Office released a statement reading in part, the U.S. Secret Service assesses that the incident did not impact protective operations, and former President Trump was not in any danger. While no federal arrest has been made at this time, the investigation is ongoing. In July, an armed man fired at Trump during a rally in Pennsylvania, injuring the former president and killing one attendee. Just last month, another suspect was arrested in Palm Beach, Florida, with a rifle near Trump's golf club. Authorities continue their investigation into this latest incident, and the FBI is also questioning another individual linked to a potential bomb threat at Saturday's rally. And Miller has been released from jail on a $5,000 bail. His next court date is set for early next year. Reporting from Riverside, I'm Omar Lewis. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
So to begin with, yesterday afternoon, before former President Trump arrived to the rally, we made contact with an individual on the inner perimeter of our operation at the rally. As you can imagine, this was a very large event. In regard to previous attempts on the former president's life, this was not something that we were taking lightly. We had a very detailed plan in place on how we were going to keep not only the former president safe, but all of the participants or the attendees of the rally safe. So in general terms, I will tell you that we had a larger outside perimeter and then an inside perimeter that was completely controlled by us, by Riverside County Sheriff's deputies, and both of them served different purposes. We did not keep residents from their homes. We did not keep people that were traveling through the area from going through if they had a legitimate reason to go through. So the outside perimeter was basically to allow people in that we thought belonged there. The inside perimeter was to make sure and to make sure people were proceeding in the right direction. The way it worked yesterday is only people that were allowed with inside the perimeter, the outside perimeter in a vehicle, was if you lived there or if you had documentation that said you were going to this rally in the form of an email with VIP credentials or press credentials. Those vehicles were allowed in. There were no other vehicles allowed. So that outside perimeter are I will give you his name. The name that we have, and I'm going to put an asterisk by it as I explain this later, but we have his name as Vem, V-E-M, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R, and his birth date is 10/26 of 1974. And the reason why I gave it to you like that is I will explain later. He approached the outside perimeter, gave all indications that he belonged there, that he was a participant that was allowed to get into VIP and to and a press corps, and so he was allowed through that outer perimeter. As he got to the inside perimeter, where deputies were conducting obviously a more thorough evaluation of the vehicles that were coming in, there were many irregularities that popped up. The deputy noticed that the interior of the vehicle was in quite disarray. The vehicle had an obviously fake license plate, and that prompted further investigation from our deputy into why the person was there and what he was doing. During that investigation, the deputy eventually found multiple passports with multiple names, multiple driver's license with different names. The vehicle was unregistered, and the license plate was what we in law enforcement would recognize as one that is homemade and indicative of a group of individuals that claim to be sovereign citizens, and assuming the deputy assumes that he was part of that identifying group. So during the investigation, obviously those identification documents were found, in addition to a loaded handgun and a shotgun. Obviously, this was before the former president arrived. The person was taken into custody. He was eventually booked into jail on those charges, and eventually he was released. He will have to further his court case in the future.
Law enforcement, apparently, if you listen to our governor, is systemically racist. If you listen to our legislature, our laws are systemically racist. Our judicial system is systemically racist. All of these people that are being put in jail are because of law enforcement bias and DA bias and all of these things. And so they let them out. They give them food. They give them housing. They give them money. They give them drugs and alcohol now. And I got to be honest, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired. And I'm wondering if I'm having a change of heart and deciding that, you know what, maybe I've been wrong. And I think I'm going to change teams. I know it's going to make some of you angry. I know that you're going to be mad at me, but I'm going to change teams. I think they're onto something, but I don't think they're doing enough. I think that we need to go big. You know me, go big or go home. You're the biggest, you do the best, you're the best at everything, and you might as well do something right if you're going to do it. And I'm all in. And I hope that you're all with me. I hope that you all have this change of heart. You all feel that this is definitely the right thing to do, and you come alongside me in this venture. And I think it's time that instead of letting them out of jail and giving them alcohol and drugs and everything else, I think it's time we put a felon in the White House. Trump 2024, baby. Let's save this country and make America great again.
Detention center. Detention center. Blistering heat. Blistering heat. Plot was foiled. Plot was foiled. Irregularity. Irregularity. Disarray. Disarray. Asterisk. Asterisk. Sovereign. Sovereign. Magazine. Magazine. Indicative. Indicative.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.